Good morning, dear students. Welcome back again with the new session of the previous lesson. We have already discussed about how to balance the chemical equation. Now we are going to study about different types of chemical reactions. Among them, there are four types of chemical reaction. The first among them is combination reaction. The name itself suggests that in any of the chemical reaction, when two or more reactants combine together to form a single product is called as combination reaction. The best example here we can take the best example as magnesium reacts with oxygen to form magnesium oxide, whereas ammonia reacts with hydrogen chloride to form ammonium chloride. Another type of reaction is decomposition reaction. Decomposition means decompose, split, separate. Now, in this, any of the chemical reaction, when two or more product is formed from a single reactant, then this type of reaction is called as decomposition reaction. The best example for the decomposition reaction is water, acidified water pass through electricity, then it decomposes to form hydrogen and oxygen. At the same time, when calcium carbonate is heated up to 1000 degrees Celsius, it decomposes to form calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. This is the best example of decomposition reaction. Then displacement reaction. Displacement means to push. Now here in any chemical reaction, atom or a group of atom displaces another atom or a group of atom to form a new compound is called as displacement reaction. Here displacement depends upon the reactivity of the element. More the reactive element, the more it will be easily displaced. The reaction in which the place of an ion of less reactive element in a compound is taken by another more reactive element by the formation of its own ion is called as displacement reaction. Example, copper sulfate plus iron gives you ferrous sulfate plus copper. Another example, copper sulfate plus lead gives you lead sulfate plus copper. Thus we have studied about three types of chemical reaction. One more type of chemical reaction is double displacement reaction. The name itself suggests that here two times displacement takes place. Here two constituents of the compound they mutually exchange their position to form two different compounds. The reaction in which the reactants exchange to form a precipitate is called as double displacement reaction. For example, potassium dichromate reacts with barium sulfate to form potassium sulfate and barium chromate. At the same time, silver nitrate reacts with sodium chloride to form white precipitate of silver chloride and sodium nitrate is formed. So these are the examples of double displacement reaction. Now, another type of reaction which we want to discuss is now exothermic and endothermic reaction. Exo implies release of the heat. The heat goes away. Endo means absorption of heat. So if this thing if you put in our mind, it will be very easy to remember about exo and endo. Now, best way to remember exothermic and endothermic is by distinguishing between them. Therefore, it is presented in the form of distinguish. Endothermic heat from outside is absorbed during the physical changes. In exothermic, heat is given away during the physical process. For example, melting of ice, dissolution of potassium nitrate in water, then calcium carbonate when it is heated get decomposed to form calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. Then nitrogen reacts with oxygen in the form when it is heated, or nitrogen reacts with oxygen when it is heated, gets converted into nitrogen oxide. So in all these cases, what has happened here? Heat is being absorbed, and therefore it is called as endothermic. Whereas in this case here, calcium oxide reacts with water to form calcium hydroxide. Here heat is released out. Then carbon reacts with oxygen to form carbon dioxide and heat is released out. So in all these cases, what has happened? Heat is given out and therefore it is called as exothermic. Like in exhaust fan, heat is released out. Same way exothermic also, heat is being released out. Now another type of reaction is oxidation and reduction reaction. Oxidation. Oxidation implies gain of oxygen. So if there is in any of the reaction, if there is gain of oxygen, we call it as oxidation. Whereas if there is loss of oxygen, we call it as reduction. Vice versa, if there is loss of hydrogen, we call it as oxidation. If there is gain of hydrogen, we call it as reduction. If these things are in mind, then it becomes very easy to identify oxidation reaction and reduction reaction. So not only on the basis of hydrogen and oxygen, we can also define oxidation and reduction on the basis of electrons. Here one more point is there with the help of which we can easily identify whether it is oxidation or reduction. You can see here loss of electrons. If there is loss of electrons in any of the chemical reaction, then it is called as oxidation reaction. Vice versa, if there is gain of electron, it is called as reduction reaction. And that is explained with the help of the example. Here Fe2 plus gets converted into Fe3 plus. Implies what? There is loss of electrons. Whereas here Mn4 plus gets converted into Mn2 plus, means here there is gain of electrons. Gain of electrons, reduction. Loss of electron, oxidation. Now, factors affecting the rate of chemical reaction. There are certain factors which affect the rate of chemical reaction, which we are going to study it one by one. Among them, first one is nature. Nature implies here reactivity. If the reactivity of the substance is high, the rate of reaction will be faster. For example here, aluminium and zinc. Aluminium is more reactive than zinc. Therefore, aluminium will react more faster with hydrochloric acid than zinc. So here this gives clear indication that the rate of reaction depends upon nature of the reactant. More the reactivity of the substance, faster is the rate of reaction. So one of the factors which is responsible for the rate of reaction is nature of the reactant. Then another factor which is affecting the rate of reaction, size of the particles. If pieces and powder of Shahbazi stone is added with hydrochloric acid in different test tubes, carbon dioxide effervescence is formed slowly with the pieces of Shahbazi stone, and with the powder the effervescence is formed very fast. This gives clear indication that smaller the size of the particles, faster will be the rate of reaction. Bigger the size of the particle, slower will be the rate of reaction. So again here, size of the particle plays an important role in the rate of reaction. Another factor which is affecting the rate of chemical reaction is concentration. Now if you use dilute acid and concentrated acid, definitely dilute acid reaction will be very slow, whereas concentrated reaction, the reaction will be very concentrated acid reaction will be very fast. So here the more the concentration of the solution, faster will be the rate of reaction. With the help of the examples, it can be explained here. Dilute HCl reacts with calcium carbonate and it disappears slowly. Carbon dioxide is liberated slowly. Concentrated hydrochloric acid reacts rapidly and calcium carbonate disappears faster. So carbon dioxide releases very fast. This implies that concentrated acid reacts faster than the dilute acid. Another factor which is affecting the rate of chemical reaction is temperature. Higher the temperature, faster is the rate of reaction. And lower the temperature, slower will be the rate of reaction. Lime water does not turn milky before heating. This gives clear indication that when you heat it, the reaction will take place faster. And at normal temperature, the reaction is very slow. Another factor which is affecting the rate of chemical reaction is catalyst. Now, what is catalyst? Catalyst, just by the mere presence of the substances, the rate of reaction increases. It does not participate in any of the chemical reaction, but by just mere presence of it, the rate of reaction increases. Such substances are called as catalyst. The best example of catalyst here, conversion of ghee into oil. The decomposition of hydrogen peroxide into hydrogen into water and oxygen. Now that process is very slow, but by the presence of the catalyst, here the catalyst uses magnesium oxide. So by mere presence of manganese oxide, though manganese dioxide does not react with it, but still by the presence of manganese dioxide, the rate of reaction increases. So here manganese dioxide act as a catalyst. Apart from that, another example, okay, that is there in your textbook which I have not written. Now, since we have studied about reduction reaction and oxidation reaction, when reduction reaction and oxidation reaction takes place simultaneously together, we call it as redox reaction. In order to explain that redox reaction, here one example is there. Here you can see the example here. Copper oxide reacts with hydrogen to form copper plus water. Here copper oxide loses hydrogen and therefore it is called as reduction reaction because there is loss of oxygen. At the same time, hydrogen gains oxygen and therefore it is called as oxidation reaction. So in the same reaction, oxidation as well as reduction reaction takes place simultaneously. Therefore, such type of reaction is called as redox reaction. Two reactions taking place simultaneously. Now, one more subtopic is pending of this lesson, with the help of which we can complete this lesson. Here, four test tubes are there with different conditions. We have to identify under which condition the iron will get rusted inside the test tube. The observations are written here. You can see the four conditions. Oil layer in a boiled water, then salt solution, air, then air and anhydrous calcium chloride. What is our observation? It is observed that in test tube 2 and 3, the iron nails undergo rusting, whereas in 1 and 4, there is no effect because it does not come in contact with the air and oxygen and therefore they are not being rusted. Now, in certain type of reaction, reddish color appears on the solid surfaces. Now, reddish color is nothing but the oxides of iron, which we call it as rust, whose formula is what? Fe2O3. We call it as rust. Its chemical formula is Fe2O3XH2O. Different regions in the surface of iron become anode and cathode, and thus the reaction takes place. What are those reactions? Fe is oxidized to form Fe2 plus in the anode reaction, whose equations are explained here. O2 is reduced to form water in the cathode reaction, whose equations are explained here. Now see here, Fe2 plus ion migrates from anode region, they react with water and further get oxidized to form Fe3 plus ions. This is called as rust. Rust, a very serious matter. It decays the metal, slowly starts degrading the metal, and the life of the metal goes on reducing. Due to various components of the atmosphere, oxidation of metal takes place, which we call it as corrosion. Now, one more topic is the rancidity. When we use old or leftover cooking oil for making foodstuff, it is found to have foul odor. Now, that foul odor comes out from the oil, and that is called as rancidity. But then that rancidity, we call it in simple form because oxidation of oil. That can be prevented if we keep the oil or food in an airtight container. It can be prevented by using antioxidants or if it is stored into an airtight container. Here we have covered up all the topic of this lesson. I hope so all the topics are very much clear. Have a great day.